A lot of people ask me, what kind of drawing program do you use? So here we go. This is a mega tutorial about everything that I use. I'm breaking this video down into 4 parts. Each timestamp for the different part will be in the description. So now you guys can stop asking me. And if you see a comment that's like asking, what blank do you use? It's now your job to link them to this video. So if you are linked to this video, that's why. All right, grab your pencils and papers. To draw, I use a Yaya Nova MVP 22U version 3. Whew! And it's a little pricey, but not nearly as pricey as a Cintiq. I would really recommend it if you prefer drawing monitors over tablets and you want to stay in a budget. Some people complain that the pen uses batteries, and I was a little worried about it too, but it only needs 1 AAA, and the pen itself is already light, and I think the battery gives it a good weight to it. I mean, it is kind of annoying. Sometimes you'll go to draw in the morning, and it's just not working, so then you restart the computer, it's still not working, and you're like, oh, it's the battery. And this thing actually broke when I first moved. And I contacted the people who made it, the Panda City, and they repaired it for free. So A+, thanks guys. One thing I will complain about is that the pressure sensitivity is a little bad. It always thinks you're pressing very lightly with the pen, and to get the thick lines, you need to press really hard. And I personally don't like pressing that hard. So I just had to change some settings in Psy, and then we were good to go. And also I use a smudge guard glove. I got 2 fingers, left-handed, because I'm actually left-handed. If you're drawing on a screen, then it really helps. I cannot draw without that glove. And I don't have a fancy computer. I don't know what brand it is, so hopefully yours is fine. The program I use to draw is called Paint Tool Psy. It's free, if you know where to look, and one of the main reasons I like it is because it's totally customizable. You make your own shortcuts for tools. It also has a stabilizer, and that really helps when you're drawing, especially when you're first starting out. The stabilizer makes the line you're drawing fall behind your pen, so it makes your lines smoother. One thing I will say about this program is that it was not made for cartoons, but more artsy, legit style pictures. There's not even a text tool in the program, so I have to print the screen on a Word document and copy and paste it in. So that's a little unprofessional. I think it's pretty easy to use. You can pick it up pretty quickly, and there are hundreds of brush settings on the internet to try out. Now to color, I see this time and time again with people who use Psy. They'll move a layer down and then color everything in like a coloring book and then erase the stuff over the lines. No, you don't need to do that, son. So you want to use the magic wand tool, make sure it's set to transparency and working layer. So go to the line art layer, select just one part like their head, and boom, now you have it selected. You can only draw in this space. So now you move down a layer and you can get some base colors in with the paint bucket tool. I just draw the shadow line with the pen and then fill it in. For shading, you want to make a layer above the base color layer and then set it to multiply. And then I like to use a dark blue or a dark red, depending on what the base color is. And then you just turn the opacity down on the multiply layer, and it looks like a pretty good shadow. Same thing can be done with the screen function, but for highlights. I use Adobe Premiere to edit. It actually costs money and I'm paying for it. But I've used Sony Vegas and Camtasia, and I love this one way more than those. This program has everything I need to make videos like this. I'm not going to go into too much about how to use this program. There's a video made by Barry from the Game Grumps, and he made an Adobe Premiere tutorial. It wasn't really made for beginners. It was more people who already have a basic understanding of the program, and I learned a lot from that video, so I would recommend watching it if you already have an idea of what Adobe Premiere is. And when I have my character, and let's say he moves from this position to this one, what I do in Paint Tool Psy is I save another picture where I distort the second image slightly in the direction of his travel. I save it, and then I put it in Premiere, and it lasts 1 frame. And that gives it sort of a bouncy look. It's a whole heck of a lot more work, but I don't know why I do it. I just like it. So you probably see a lot of people use this program. It's called Audacity, and I really like it. It's pretty simple and easy to use. There's a lot of tutorials out there. I record in my college's sound booth, so I have to request times like 2 or 3 days in advance. So I have to make sure my lines are perfect, and if I buff a line, then too bad. Dang it. I used to use a Blue Yeti to record, but now I don't. And the microphone that's in the sound booth, I think, is the Audio Technica AT2020. Hold on, let me look at it. Yeah, it says Audio Technica on it, and it says AT2020. I think it's the same one that Game Theory uses, so that's pretty cool. And for headphones, I use the Synthesizer HD 2080 Pro. It said 2080, it's not 2080. So I think that should cover everything. I mean, post-production update, I just want to mention another program I use called Levelator. So if we look at the original Audacity audio file and we play a clip of it, for the different part will be in the description. So now you guys can stop asking me. It's actually kind of quiet, but that's okay because that means the screams are at a normal level and we can fix the talking. So what we do is we export this as a WAV file. I'll just call this part 2. And we want to use this program called a levelator. This thing will raise the levels of the quiets without raising the levels of the highs. So that means the talking will be at the same level as the screams. So we just drag the WAV files in here and then it loads up and just poops it out. So now if we put this into Adobe Premiere and we play a clip of it, the different part will be in the description. So now you guys can stop asking me. And if you remember, that was kind of the loud part, but now all the talking, they all sound the same. And that's because of levelator. That means the talking is the same level as the screams. So, it's not all over the place. And also you want the levels to be around -6. -6 is like the best. This is, if we watch
that's
it,
like asking what
it's around
blank
-6.
do you...
So yeah, I just wanted to tell you about levelator. It's really good, makes you sound better. So
There's like foam in this sound booth. So I mean, if you want to record, you could get some acoustic foam. You may think that's excessive, but it's worth it. So that should be everything. Hope you like it. So now you can stop asking me.